When we talk about legends of bodybuilding and pop culture, few names shine as bright as Lou Ferrigno's. Born Louis Jude Ferrigno Sr. on November 9, 1951, in Brooklyn, New York, he became one of the most iconic figures in both sports and television. With his Italian-American roots, he carried not only the raw strength the world would come to know, but also the resilience of someone who had been facing serious obstacles since childhood. His sheer size alone was jaw-dropping. Standing 6 feet 5 inches, 1.95 meters tall, he weighed around 265 pounds, 120 kilograms, on stage and could go up to nearly 295 pounds, 133 kilograms, in the off-season. He was literally a giant, impossible to ignore wherever he went. And the stats didn't stop there. His arms measured a staggering 22 to 23 inches, 57 to 58 centimeters. His chest was about 57 inches, 145 centimeters, around, and yet he kept a tight 34-inch, 87 centimeters, waist, creating that perfect V-taper silhouette that became a symbol of bodybuilding aesthetics. Few athletes ever balanced mass and symmetry with such precision. But Lou wasn't just muscle. Beyond bodybuilding, he made his mark as a personal trainer and, of course, as an actor, forever remembered for bringing the iconic Incredible Hulk to life on television. Think about it. A kid who grew up loving comic books and years later became the face of the very hero who inspired him. Sounds like a movie script, but that's exactly what happened. The road to fame, however, was anything but easy. Shortly after birth, Lou suffered severe ear infections that caused a 75 to 80% hearing loss. Doctors didn't even diagnose it until he was 3 years old, and by age 5 he was already wearing hearing aids, at a time when that condition carried heavy stigma. Imagine being a child trying to speak while struggling to hear, all while classmates saw you as different. The consequences were brutal. Lou grew up under the constant shadow of bullying, being called deaf and mute, insults that crushed his self-esteem. To make matters worse, he sometimes even felt rejection inside his own family, as if he wasn't the perfect son. For many, that would have been enough to break their confidence forever. But Lou found a unique escape. He built an inner world of dreams and superheroes. And that's where comic books became his safe haven. He especially connected with the Hulk, the misunderstood hero who carried an uncontrollable strength within. He also admired Spider-Man, a reminder that even the seemingly fragile can hide incredible power. These stories weren't just entertainment. For Lou, they were mirrors, proof that he too could be strong, respected, and capable of overcoming anything. That burning desire to grow stronger, to defend himself against the world's cruelty, is what led him to discover weight training. Still a teenager, Lou decided that bodybuilding would be his way of not only building muscle, but also earning respect and confidence. Lou Ferrigno found his passion for lifting early. At just 13, while most kids in Brooklyn were still playing in the streets, he was already looking for ways to transform his body and his future. The problem? He didn't have the money for proper gym equipment. But that didn't stop him. He improvised with broomsticks and buckets filled with cement, proving that determination and creativity can outdo any limitation. His biggest role model was the legendary Steve Reeves, the bodybuilder who became famous playing Hercules on the big screen. Reeves wasn't just about size. He embodied elegance and proportion, qualities that pushed Lou to dream big. He didn't just want to be massive. He wanted respect, identity, and a place in the world through bodybuilding. Comics gave him inspiration, but Reeves showed him that fantasies could actually be made real. Even while chasing that dream, Lou kept up with his studies. He went to Brooklyn Technical High School, where he learned metallurgy, a backup trade if bodybuilding didn't pan out. But truthfully, lifting was already taking over. Every rep with his homemade weights brought him closer to the physique that would one day put him under the world spotlight. His talent didn't take long to show. In 1969, still a teenager, Lou Ferrigno won the Mr. America title, proving that his hard work was paying off. Imagine the impact. A shy kid who'd been bullied and struggled with hearing loss was now being celebrated as America's top young bodybuilder. That victory was a turning point, showing him that bodybuilding could truly be the path to his biggest dreams. But Lou wasn't done. At 22, He returned to the stage and swept both Mr. America and the prestigious IFBB Mr. Universe title in 1973. That one launched him onto the international scene, revealing to the world a physique that stunned with its sheer size, balance, and stage presence. For a guy who started training with buckets of cement, it almost sounded like a fable, but it was pure reality. In 1974, Lou did it again. He won Mr. Universe once more, becoming the youngest athlete ever to claim that title. The feat landed him in the Guinness Book of World Records, cementing his name among the greatest in the sport's history. The kid who once just longed for acceptance was now a global reference, carrying not only muscle but also a powerful message. With dedication and courage, any barrier can be broken. Lou Ferrigno's early bodybuilding career is proof that champions aren't born ready. They're forged in adversity. He didn't have money. He didn't have much support, but he had an unshakable will to rewrite his destiny. After stacking up major titles in the early 70s, Lou stepped onto bodybuilding's biggest stage. In 1974, he made his debut at the legendary Mr. Olympia, the sport's most prestigious contest. At just 22, he took second place in the heavyweight class, losing only to none other than Arnold Schwarzenegger. That result made Lou one of the brightest new stars in bodybuilding and lit the fuse of a rivalry that would define his career. The following year, in 1975, Lou returned to the Olympia determined to dethrone Arnold. He brought an impressive physique, but finished third, once again behind the Austrian, who was securing his sixth consecutive victory. That edition became immortalized in the documentary Pumping Iron, which gave fans a behind-the-scenes look at the tension between the two giants. Lou appeared as the quiet, determined underdog, while Arnold exuded charisma and confidence. Their clash helped catapult bodybuilding into the global spotlight. In 1977, Lou proved his strength went beyond posing on stage. He entered the world's strongest man competition and placed fourth out of 8 athletes. Even though he wasn't a traditional strongman, his bodybuilding foundation put him among the strongest of his generation. It was a defining moment that showed he combined aesthetics and raw power like few others. After that, Lou stepped away from competition. For years, he focused on acting and other projects while the pro bodybuilding scene marched on. But his passion for the sport never died. In 1992, nearly 2 decades after his Olympia debut, Lou shocked the world with a comeback. Weighing in at around 290 pounds, 131 kilograms, he brought a colossal physique for the era, proving he still had plenty to offer. By then, though, the sport had evolved. At the 1992 Mr. Olympia, Lou placed 12th against a new wave of competitors led by Dorian Yates. The next year, in 1993, he improved slightly, finishing 10th. Even if he wasn't at the top anymore, fans celebrated his presence. To them, Lou was a living legend, defying time and daring to stand once again among the elite. His last big showing came in 1994 at the Masters Olympia, a contest for veteran athletes. Lou shined, taking second place in a hard-fought battle documented in Stand Tall. That film captured not only his massive physique, but also his determination and discipline, even after years away from the circuit. It was a fitting farewell for someone who had already secured his place in history. Even though he never won a Mr. Olympia title, Lou Ferrigno retired as a true legend of bodybuilding. His towering height, massive frame, and famous rivalry with Arnold turned him into an unforgettable icon. In the end, he proved that being remembered isn't just about trophies. It's about inspiring generations with discipline, charisma, and courage. If bodybuilding made Lou Ferrigno a legend on stage, acting turned him into a worldwide icon. In 1977, he got the opportunity of a lifetime, playing the Incredible Hulk on CBS. For 5 years, from 1977 to 1982, Lou embodied the green superhero alongside Bill Bixby, who played Bruce Banner. More than just a co-star, Bixby became a mentor and father figure to Lou, teaching him lessons about acting and professionalism that he carried forever. Playing the Hulk was more than just a job. Since childhood, Lou had looked up to the character, seeing in him a reflection of his own struggles and misunderstandings. Now, he wasn't just portraying the hero. He was the hero for millions of viewers around the world. That was the moment Lou Ferrigno stopped being just a bodybuilder and became a permanent part of global pop culture. With the success of the show, new doors opened for Lou in Hollywood. He started getting cast in adventure and fantasy films, where his massive presence was the main attraction. Some of his most memorable roles include starring in Hercules, 1983, followed by The Seven Magnificent Gladiators, 1983, and Sinbad of the Seven Seas, 1989. In these movies, his towering physique made him stand out, solidifying Lou's image as the big screen giant of the 1980s. Beyond the big screen, Lou also appeared in TV series. In 1983, he joined the cast of Trauma Center, proving he could handle roles outside of fantasy. Years later, he won over a completely new audience by playing himself in the popular sitcom The King of Queens, 2000 to 2007, where he was the quirky next-door neighbor. These roles showcased his charisma and sense of humor, helping to build a fun, relatable image. His bond with the Hulk, however, never faded. Lou made cameo appearances as a security guard in Marvel's Hulk, 2003, and The Incredible Hulk, 2008, and he even voiced the character in cartoons and films up until 2015. For fans, Lou and the Hulk became inseparable. His body and his voice defined the Green Hero for decades. Outside the Marvel world, Lou kept popping up in fun guest roles. In 2009, he appeared in the comedy I Love You, Man, once again playing himself in a lighthearted, authentic way. His popularity even reached video games. In 2016, he became a playable character in LEGO Marvel's Avengers, bringing his legacy to a new generation of fans who might not have followed his early career. Lou Ferrigno's acting journey proves his influence stretched way beyond bodybuilding. He turned his image into a brand, finding recognition in different areas and staying relevant for decades. And maybe that's one of the greatest lessons from his life. Never limit yourself to one path. Take every chance to reinvent yourself. To understand how Lou built such an incredible body, you need to look at his training routine. He followed an old-school style. No shortcuts, no laziness. Lou trained 6 days a week, with only Sundays off. That extreme commitment showed not just in his physique, but in his overall discipline. His method was built on free weights, barbells and dumbbells, avoiding machines that limited movement. Lou believed traditional weights were the only way to maximize muscle activation. He trained with high volume and progressive overload, always pushing himself harder. No quick, half-hearted workouts. Each session was a marathon of strength and endurance. His weekly split was simple but brutally effective. Mondays and Thursdays were for chest and back, with heavy bench presses, flies, rows, and deadlifts. Tuesdays and Fridays hit shoulders and arms, loaded with presses, lateral raises, curls, and triceps work. Wednesdays and Saturdays were dreaded leg days, packed with heavy squats, leg presses, and isolations. Nothing was left behind. His entire body was attacked with surgical precision. Intensity was his trademark. Lou would hit 4 to 5 sets per exercise, with reps ranging from 6 to 10, always pushing close to failure. The goal wasn't just to lift, it was to drain every fiber of the muscle. This train to exhaustion philosophy fueled his constant growth and kept his physique balanced and aesthetic. Another key was variety. Lou always aimed to hit muscles from different angles, switching grips, bench inclines, and ranges of motion. That attention to detail allowed him to sculpt a balanced body with no weak spots. His arms, chest, and back were massive, but his legs and calves were equally developed, completing a harmonious package. He didn't rely on trends or fancy machines. His training was raw and straight to the point. Heavy squats, presses, rows, and other classic lifts. That simplicity, paired with relentless consistency, is one of his greatest lessons. Results don't come from complicated gimmicks, but from daily discipline and training with intensity. Looking at Lou Ferrigno's routine, it's clear his greatness wasn't an accident. It was built on sweat, sacrifice, and relentless effort. And his diet? It matched his training and discipline. At his peak, Lou consumed about 4,500 calories a day, necessary fuel for a body that weighed nearly 290 pounds, over 130 kilograms, in the off-season. But it wasn't just about eating big. His meals were carefully planned to fuel energy, support muscle growth, and still keep the definition that made him stand out on stage. He spread his meals into 4 to 5 per day, prioritizing consistency. Lou believed keeping the body constantly fueled was key to avoiding dips in metabolism. No long fasting windows. His muscles were always fed. His diet was straightforward but effective. Low fat, high carbs for energy, and enough protein to recover and grow. It wasn't fancy, but it worked. On Lou's menu, the staples were the classics of bodybuilding nutrition: lean meats, fish, eggs, rice, potatoes, fruits, and vegetables. No superfoods, no magic formulas. The secret was in simplicity and discipline. What mattered was balance: protein for muscle repair, carbs for fuel, and fiber to keep everything running smoothly. A typical day started at breakfast with oatmeal, milk, fruit, and eggs. That meal was like firing up the engine, giving him the energy to kick off the day strong. At lunch and dinner, Lou rotated between chicken, fish, or steak, always paired with rice and vegetables, clean combinations that fueled his training and aided recovery. In the evenings, he tweaked things to protect his definition. His last meal was usually lighter on carbs, with whole eggs or cheese alongside vegetables. The idea was to avoid unnecessary fat gain overnight while still keeping enough protein flowing for muscle repair, which happens most intensely during sleep. The message behind his diet was clear: there are no shortcuts. Lou proved you don't need fancy meal plans or trendy diets. What counts is consistency, discipline, and attention to detail. Eating the right foods in the right amounts every single day. That's what built and maintained his massive yet balanced physique. Lou Ferrigno was never just a bodybuilder or an actor. His career was also filled with achievements in completely different areas, showing his versatility and drive to take on new challenges. One of the most surprising moments came in the 90s, when he became personal trainer to none other than Michael Jackson. That's right, the king of pop trusted Lou to help him stay in shape. And in 2009, just before the This Is It tour, the two teamed up again. Picture it, the world's biggest music superstar being trained by the Incredible Hulk himself. But Lou didn't stop there. He became an entrepreneur, launching his own gym equipment line, Ferrigno Fitness. More than just a brand, it was an extension of his legacy, proof that training with consistency and discipline could transform lives. In 2009, he even showcased the equipment on TV, reinforcing his role as not just an athlete, but also a businessman. Another surprising chapter came in public safety. Lou worked as a fitness consultant for police departments across the U.S., helping officers maintain the physical conditioning their demanding job required. His expertise showed how bodybuilding knowledge could make a real impact in everyday professions. His connection to law enforcement went even further. Lou was sworn in as a deputy sheriff in multiple counties, including Los Angeles, San Luis Obispo, and Delaware. He served as a volunteer, wearing the badge with pride, proving he wanted to give back to the community that had given him so much. Who would have thought the Incredible Hulk would also wear a sheriff's star? Recognition for his career came in prestigious ways too. In 2017, Lou was inducted into the International Sports Hall of Fame, an honor reserved only for the greatest in athletic history. It was a milestone that celebrated not just his success on stage, but his role as an inspiration for generations. The following year, in 2018, Lou received another honor. He was appointed by Donald Trump to the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition. This council shapes national policies to promote fitness and health across the country. Having Lou on board was a public acknowledgement of his authority in the field, solidifying his influence far beyond bodybuilding and television. All of these achievements show how Lou Ferrigno reinvented himself and expanded his horizons. From training celebrities to running a business, from advising police officers to representing fitness on a national level, he proved true strength isn't just in muscles. It's in adapting, evolving, and staying relevant through every stage of life. Behind the image of the towering giant, Lou Ferrigno was always a family man. His personal life brought its own powerful stories of love, challenges, and deep emotion. In 1978, he married Susan Groff, though the marriage lasted only a year. Soon after, in 1980, he found a new path when he married Carla Green, a psychotherapist who also became his manager. That marriage, still strong today, grew into a solid partnership, both personally and professionally. With Carla, Lou built his family. They had 3 kids: Shauna, born in 1981, Louis Jr. in 1984, and Brent in 1990. Each followed different paths, but all carry the Ferrigno legacy. Shauna pursued acting, appearing in shows like Days of Our Lives and Windfall. Louis Jr. first went the sports route, playing linebacker for the USC Trojans before moving into acting with roles in Outer Banks and SWAT. Brent, the youngest, stayed out of the spotlight, but remains part of the family's story of unity. Beyond fame and family, Lou carried a personal challenge from childhood: hearing loss. That condition shaped his determination, but also fueled his drive. Later in life, he got the chance to change it. Lou underwent cochlear implant surgery, a modern procedure that restores hearing to people with profound hearing impairment. The result was life-changing. After the surgery, Lou regained much of his hearing, something many thought impossible after decades of living with limitations. The moment he clearly heard again was caught on video, showing him emotional, crying tears of joy. For Lou, it wasn't just about sound returning, but about winning yet another personal battle. That moment revealed a softer, more human side of the giant. The emotion on his face proved that behind the raw strength and fame was always a vulnerable man, fighting his own limitations to keep growing. And maybe it's exactly that mix of strength and fragility that makes him so inspiring. Family support was always central in his life. Carla, beyond being his wife, became his partner in every decision, helping manage his career and ventures. His children, in turn, reflect his fight and perseverance, each on their own path, but all carrying the example of discipline and resilience they grew up with. Lou Ferrigno shows us that true legends aren't just built on muscle or trophies. They're also shaped by personal stories, relationships, and quiet victories away from the spotlight. Lou will always be remembered as one of the tallest, biggest, and most imposing bodybuilders the sport has ever seen. But what truly makes him unique goes beyond stats. He's a symbol of perseverance, a man who turned bullying, family rejection, and hearing loss into fuel to earn the world's respect. His story proves it doesn't matter where you start or what challenges you face. With discipline and courage, you can build a legendary destiny. In the 70s, Lou was at the heart of bodybuilding, going head-to-head with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That legendary rivalry not only etched his name among the sport's greats, but also helped make bodybuilding global. Fans still remember their tense showdown in Pumping Iron as one of the most iconic moments of the sport's golden era. But Lou's story didn't stop on stage. He crossed into pop culture and became a global icon as the Incredible Hulk. For millions, he was the green hero who embodied raw strength and human vulnerability at the same time. A character who, like him, battled inner struggles and grew bigger than any obstacle. His journey is living proof of perseverance, discipline, and strength of character. Lou showed that muscle alone might impress, but its daily consistency, resilience in tough times, and the determination to never give up that truly build legends. That's why, even decades after his competitive peak, he continues to inspire athletes and fans around the world. Lou Ferrigno represents more than titles or TV roles. He represents the idea that each of us has a giant within. Whether it's in the gym, at work, with family, or chasing a dream that feels far away, Lou's message is clear: don't let others define your limits. And now I want to hear from you. What impressed you most about Lou Ferrigno's journey? Was it his strength, his rivalry with Arnold, his acting career, or his ability to overcome personal challenges? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Your voice adds to this conversation and might inspire someone else too. If this video motivated you in any way, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss what's coming next. And if you'd like to support our work even more, consider becoming a channel member for exclusive content. Also, check out the video popping up right now on the end screen. I'm sure you'll enjoy it, because it's another incredible story from the world of bodybuilding and pop culture. See you there.